First of all, I'd like to ask you to put your phones on silent mode, but please do not turn off fully, because we will need them during this speech. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Abylaikhan Naiatilla. It is an honor for me to be here today. I'd like to start my speech with a story from my life. Recently, we had 1 week study break at our university, and I went back home to sunny Shymkent. I like to call it Kazakhstan Miami because there are a lot of green trees, positive vibes, and great people. Anyway, my little sister had a birthday, and we invited our relatives for this event. After official part of celebration, me and my cousins, we all gathered in one room. There were like 10 of us, and every single one of us was glued to their phones. Could you please raise your hands if you are familiar with this type of situation? When you are with your friends or parents, or when you're doing something and you're constantly distracted by the phone. It was painful to watch us sit together and every single one of us in his own little world. At one moment, I offered them an alternative that helped us to spend this precious time together differently. But I'd like to share this sweet part on what I did at the end of this speech. Today, we will think about what do we use the social media for? What kind of negative consequences are there? And most importantly, I would like to share with you with 3 ideas that can help to deal with social media more mindfully. Obviously, phones became a necessity of our lives, and we use it pretty much everywhere. While we walk down the street, when we cross the road, when we eat, when we talk to someone, and in other spheres. To get you more into the context of what is happening, according to Dr. Dave Shafei, a Smart Insights platform publisher, more than 5 billion people all around the globe nowadays using social media. In percent, it's around 62% of the whole population. Now, I want all of you to take our phones and check how many hours a day we spend on social media. Just take your phones. There's no need to give answers, and check your personal screen time. In particular, how many hours a day and hours per week you spend on social media. Let's do it together. Thank you. Now, please pay attention closely. And let's think about the following. How much of your workday have you lost on Instagram? And how much sleep have you missed out on because of TikTok? You probably don't even want to know, right? I understand you. I don't want to know it too. The lack of self-control isn't fully to blame. These apps are designed to be addictive. What do we use the social media for? In general, it's better communication, staying connected, offering support, finding our voice, building and running businesses, and things of that nature. However, we know what we do the rest of the time, right? We just watch funny videos, news, motivational speeches, after which we feel a bit encouraged, and then continue watching other content. However, social media has a dark side as well. It reduces our ability to concentrate. According to Microsoft study, due to an increasingly digital lifestyle that we have, people tend to lose focus just in 8 seconds. By the way, who remembers what was the color of my phone's cover? Any guesses? Purple? Red? Blue, yellow. You see how hard it is for us to focus our attention on something for a short period of time. And we are not talking about something that is not related to us, but rather happening here, right now. One more thing about the focus. Let's try the following practice. It's called shot clock exercise. Now, I want all of you to close your eyes. Let's do it together. Close your eyes and imagine yourself in a completely dark space. Take a few deep breaths and slow down your thoughts. Picture in your mind number 24 and start counting to 0, seeing how the numbers change from 24 to 23, 22, 21, 20, and so on. If any other thought or image appears in your mind, then restart the shot clock to 24 and start counting down again. Simple but challenging, right? Just take your time and try it. Now, let's move on. Please open your eyes. You see how hard it is for you to count from 24 to 0 without any other thought interrupting you. In addition to reduction of focus because of watching content that has no relation to each other, social media can actually make feel bad about ourselves or our lives by showing us images or videos of people who seem to have a perfect appearance, health, and relationships. Most of the times, these images are filtered, edited, or to a certain extent manipulated to create an unattainable and unachievable standards of beauty and wellness. In addition, depression and anxiety. We as human beings need face-to-face communication with each other in order to stay mentally healthy. And the more we prioritize social media interaction over in-person communication, the higher we are at risk of developing mood disorders, such as depression and anxiety. One more thing to fully understand that social media hurts us. To the downside of social media, we can also relate isolation. A study at the University of Pennsylvania found that the more we use social media, the higher we are at risk of feeling ourselves lonely and isolated. Now here's a logical question. What to do with all of it, right? That's a good question. Now we approach to 3 ideas that can help to deal with social media more mindfully. Idea number 1, choose what you watch. Joe Whittington, a certified emergency medicine specialist, shares that content is designed to be engaging, and it triggers a dopamine release in our brains, which is directly associated with pleasure center of our brains. And this reward mechanism makes the social media scrolling addictive. Most of the times, we watch some entertaining content, news, videos, reels, and it has no relation to each other. That's why our focus is blurred. So out of this flow of content, choose what you watch. Let me give an example. Imagine yourself an apple that has been in a fridge for several months and now is spoiled. Would you like to eat it? Probably not, right? So why we are consuming this type of content mentally? Imagine yourself, on the other hand, your favorite fruit or dish. Well, mine is chicken curry with rice and broccoli. So would you like to eat your favorite fruit or dish? Of course. In this case, we are choosing what to eat. Similar approach has to be applied to social media content by treating social media content as a metaphorical food. This will help you to filter what you're watching and tailor it to your own preferences. Idea number 2. Set a timer. In the Guilford Journal, it is shared that limiting social media usage can decrease the feelings of depression and anxiety. The findings of this study suggest that limiting social media usage to 30 minutes a day can significantly improve our overall well-being and reduce the chances of feeling ourselves lonely. In other words, set a timer, the time that you assign for social media. And for example, after 30 minutes have passed, put your phone aside and do something else. This will help you to track your time spent on social media, feel less lonely and isolated, and improve your overall efficiency in other domains of your life. Idea number 3. Engage your brain with some other activity. Choose another activity that you will do instead of surfing the social media. Let me elaborate on that. What helped me is realizing that you make a choice out of indefinite number of choices. So when you choose to watch a phone, that's a choice. However, you can make a choice in favor of some other activity, right? For instance, go hiking, play the piano, do sports, read a paper-based book instead of reading a book on your phone. Take a photo camera, like the equipment itself, to make the photos and videos, instead of using a camera of your phone. The main idea here is to distance ourselves from using the phone and do something else. In my case, it was execution of tasks that I have set for a day. Remember, I started my speech with a story. So after official part of celebration, me and my cousins, we all gathered in one room. There were like 10 of us, and every single one of us was glued to their phones. At one moment, I offered them to play a game, and everyone agreed to play. But before we started playing, I have collected all our mobile phones and put it in a different room so that it won't disturb us during the game. After this, we started playing, having fun, laughing, and communicating, and we forgot about our phones for several hours straight. And this time that we spent together was great, which I believe me and my cousins will remember and reminisce with a smile appearing on our face. Obviously, nowadays, it is pretty hard to completely stop using social media on our phones, but the main idea here is to use it more mindfully. I want you to leave today's conference with a simple idea in your mind that follows throughout the whole speech. You do have a choice. You do have a choice. You make a choice out of indefinite number of options that you have. In the story that was shared, when me and my cousins played together, we could just continue using our phones and spend the rest of the evening for nothing, right? However, we made a choice to spend this time differently by playing, communicating, talking to each other. And it was awesome. How are you feeling, guys, so far? Thank you. So, let's conclude today's speech. Please take a look at your phones. With the use of this tool, you can hurt yourself. Similarly, with the use of the same tool right in your hands, you can build yourself and help yourself to become a better person. In both cases, you choose what to do. My name is Abylaikhan. Thank you.